Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Uncharted 2 Crushing Difficulty walkthrough, and this is chapter 25, also known as Broken Paradise. And you may have noticed that you didn't see the title card on this level, and that is because of this first sequence, because whether you live or die, running through here is not up to you. You're completely at the mercy of the game during that first part. But if you survive it, you'll get to this little platform, put this pillar in between you and the enemies, and you shouldn't have any problems at all. They cannot fire through it. If any one of them is still alive when you get to the end of the sequence, the cutscene will kill them. They will get crushed against the wall and you can proceed onwards. And the fight coming up right now, you're gonna be facing 3 of those steroid smurfs, also known as the Guardians. And in this fight I will mess up completely, which you will see. If your aiming skills are a bit better than mine, you will have a much easier time beating this fight. Because the way to trigger the enemies is to run into this little alcove. And in there are quite a few grenades. I only picked up 1. If you're smart, you'll pick up at least 2 and throw them where I threw that one. Because if all things go as planned, that Guardian will land on them. 2 grenades are enough to kill him if you get clean hits. If he's hit by the full blast, it will take him out instantly. And then you'll get his crossbow. And I've talked a bit about the crossbow before in this game. I think the crossbow is an absolutely amazing weapon, because it has such a high damage output, it's insane. One of these Guardians, 2 of these little bolts, wherever it is it fires, will kill a Guardian. And a Guardian otherwise will take maybe 2 complete magazines from your AK. So I messed up. My aiming was very bad, so I only have 1 bolt going for this last one. Because the first Guardian drops a little crossbow with 4 bolts. And 4 bolts are exactly enough to kill the 2 remaining ones. Now we only have to worry about this guy who's standing with his little bomb throwing thingy. So I managed to hit him with 1 bolt, my last one, so now I'm gonna have to resort to my assault rifles. If I hadn't messed up, this fight would already be over, so be sure to try to use the crossbow better than I did. And you see right here, I packed almost an entire magazine of AK-47 bullets in him. He didn't even flinch. I had to put maybe 35 bullets in him before he died, and that was after 1 bolt. If I had had 2 bolts, he would be dead. But after these guys are dead, as always, run around this little battlefield, loot whatever you find, and we can continue onwards. We're gonna do some platforming, and then we're gonna go into actually a really good fight. The next fight coming up, I enjoy it quite a lot. I think it's really fun, it's well designed, and this chapter also has 1 fight that is terrible in its design. Because that fight can be over in 2 minutes, it can take 5 minutes, and if you're unlucky, you'll have to clear your schedule for the rest of your day, bring out the empty bottle to pee in, and hope that no one calls you or anything like that, because you're gonna be spending so much time in that fight, and it all depends on how the first part of it plays out. But back to this sequence. We are, as I said, we're gonna do some platforming, and we're getting some foreshadowing about things coming up in this game, because as you know, this resin is explosive. So we're gonna shoot some resin balls, those big sacks of resin, so the tree roots will retract so we can continue onwards. And that is also something we're gonna utilize in the next mission, which is actually the last one of the game. There are 26 chapters, and as I said, this is chapter 25. So we are almost at the end. And the last mission, or the final boss, first time I met him, I had a really hard time. I struggled a lot with that boss. Thought it was really hard. But then I realized, and apparently this is well known across the internet, that there is an exploit that you can use in that fight, which basically reduces him to nothing. And from what I've heard, and what I've seen actually in another video, it works even on brutal. So that is a great strategy. I will be using it in this walkthrough. It's really easy to follow, but you will see when we get there. We still have to get through this chapter. And this is the area I was talking about. The really fun fight coming up. And the enemies won't trigger until you try to open a door to get out of here. So feel free to run around. I suggest you stock up on grenades, because they will serve you well in this upcoming fight. Make sure to have 4 grenades before you start doing anything. So when you try to approach that, Nate will say that you have company. Immediately run out through the door on the left and hide behind this old pillar piece. There are 2 grenades on it. I like to shoot that resin, get some easy kills. And the biggest threat in this is if someone manages to flank you on your left. Sometimes 1 or 2 of the enemies will try to go through that little tunnel down there on my left, or they will make a circular motion around to the left side. I got lucky in this fight. It didn't happen to me, but keep an eye on them. And also take out that big super heavy, the ultra heavy. He should be your main concern. The guy with the rocket launcher doesn't pose a problem yet. He should not be on anyone's priority list because he can't hit you behind this cover. Only time he may hit you if you pop your head out, and he may get lucky and shoot you. But just focus on crowd control. Take out all these ground troops first. You see one of those regular heavies is coming too close for comfort. I moved back, tried to get out of the line of sight of the grenade guy, and we just spray this heavy with our amazing blind fire. He gets really up close and personal. Well, he goes down, and now it's easy street from now on. There are 2 enemies over to the right hiding behind the pillars. They will not move up further than that, so I present them to a little grenade. Takes out both of them. Perfect placement. And now I will focus on the rocket launcher guy and the sniper guy. First we go for the rocket launcher, because we all know he has a laser sight on his sniper rifle, so he doesn't pose a threat. He will stand there for weeks trying to line up his sight. And after all the soldiers are dead, 3 more of those guardians will show up. And in a best case scenario, you just run up here and you go for the big Gatling gun that the ultra heavy dropped. Pick that up, shoot one of the guardians with it, and pick up his crossbow and take out the other ones, or the others. And once again, that's a perfect scenario. It didn't work for me. I got really unlucky. But also, you see, I've picked up both grenades on this piece of cover I'm hiding behind. And I died during that fight. There is a checkpoint between this fight and the guardians showing up. So if you run down to this cover again, those grenades will have respawned, and I will do that in the fight coming up. Now I'm gonna advance a little bit. Start being aggressive, pushing up, trying to get a better position to take out these last 2 enemies. First I focus on the guy on the ground, I think he is the bigger concern. Yep, focus on him, he goes down. Now we just take out the sniper fellow. Down he goes, and here come the guardians. So I go for the Gatling gun, and I got killed, so you see a little transition. So immediately run down to that cover once again and pick up the grenades, because now it's time to fight these guys. And in, as I said, a perfect scenario, I would pick up the Gatling gun and just spray take out one of them as fast as possible, pick up his crossbow. Now I have to resort to this. Got a bit lucky, threw in 2 grenades, he didn't take the full blast would have killed him. I blind fire, managed to hit the other one. And Elena cockblocks me and I miss completely. I miss once again, and now I only have 1 bolt left. And then I managed to kill him. So it was only 2 guardians showing up. And I bring the crossbow with me into the next fight. Because the crossbow is really good in the fight coming up, because we are gonna be a little bit sneaky. I pick up the Gatling gun because I wasn't quite sure if everyone was dead. Even though the music has died down, everything is calm. I was being very cautious, because sometimes, you know, in these games the music can troll you. Yeah, I bring the crossbow. As I said, sometimes the music can fool you, especially in... was a bigger problem in Uncharted 1. I've talked about it several times. The fact that sometimes the music dies down, everything seems calm, and suddenly you have a guy shoving a barrel from his gun up your ass. And that is never pleasant. You know, you get weapon oil and gunpowder and stuff like that. Very unpleasant. But anyway, now it's time to open this gate and proceed into the next area. And you do it by just climbing across here and hanging from the other chain, because the counterweight on this chain has fallen off. And you get into this area. And now I have 2 crossbow bolts. So what you want to do here is jump down and wait here for a little while until those 3 guys go around the corner, and then we are gonna kill that guy up there, because this one is quiet, or this weapon is quiet, and it's a 1-hit kill. So we shoot him, he goes down, and I run up for these stairs. And first I'm gonna shoot him with my second bolt. No, I'm not. I clipped on the stairs, so he didn't die. But I'm gonna run up these stairs and hide behind this cover. And this cover is absolutely amazing, because no one can hit you up here. Shoot that guy in the face, as one does. And now, this is easy. Something that can happen on occasion is that Elena or Chloe start shooting at those soldiers. What you can do then is to restart the checkpoint, because they can be such fucking trolls. Sometimes they will start blasting completely insane, everyone will spot you, and on crushing that means you're dead. Sometimes they will throw grenades up here, no one will rush you up here, that is the most important part. If someone throws a grenade, try to move further out on the platform or something like that, or jump over to the other platform if that feels more safe, and just let the grenade launcher do most of the work. And now I got a bit lucky, because Chloe and Elena are still standing at the beginning of this little river thing. So the enemies are focusing on them, and they haven't noticed the fact that I am behind them. You see, they are in a full-on gunfight. So I take the opportunity to just put down a grenade, take out all 3 of them.
Look out!
Amazing shot. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work for you, just switch over to your handgun and pick off any remaining soldiers. Not very hard. And here is where things can start getting awkward. I jumped down, which was a mistake. So I almost got ganked by that group of soldiers showing up. But once again, I flee up to this little cover up here on the platform, and none of them can touch me. And apparently, it seems like they lost track of me. They are also going for Chloe and Elena, and I'm gonna use that to my advantage. This guy sees me, and he has a grenade launcher, so he is very dangerous. So put full force on him, take him out as fast as possible. He's not a heavy, so just start blasting him in the chest or in the face, whichever works for you and whichever you find is the easiest to hit. Now we have this guy left, he's dead. And now we have 1 guy left down here. So just move over here, put the cover between me and him, break out my M4. Always reload before you start spraying. And then few shots to the head, he loses his hat, drops a grenade, and he's dead. Very easy. Seems very streamlined. I actually had some problems before I came up with this strategy. But when the very second I realized I could do it this way, it became so simple. This was my first attempt using that strategy, and it worked beautifully. There we have a guy with, I think it's a Desert Eagle. He doesn't stand a chance, his laser sight trolled him. So now we can progress onwards. And I recommend you bring the grenade launcher into the next fight. Because the next fight, you're in quite an awkward position. Or in an awkward corner. So it's good to have the grenade launcher with you. Because it is a bit hit and miss on the damage output. He even had a dragon sniper. It is a bit hit and miss on the damage output, but it can do damage to many enemies at once, and that's why it's so good, because you start off in this little corridor, you have cover, I jump out to try to force the spawn, and now we can just use our grenade launcher, focus on the heavy first, try not to shoot into cover, stupid me, my mistake, take out the heavy as fast as possible, don't be stingy with your grenades. I have 2 grenades left, the enemies are staying back, Chloe and Elena are putting pressure on them. And now you can just try to pop some headshots. Not working too well. Today, maybe this was one of those days where my aim was a little bit off. But now there's only one guy left. So I push up, try to be a bit more aggressive, and I'm gonna use my grenade launcher on him to put him into oblivion. And that worked beautifully. Down he goes, and once again, loot through all the stuff you can find here. Anything useful, pick up whichever weapon you like. I like to bring the assault rifle, and try to bring as much ammo as possible from this fight.
Nice work, guys. Thanks for the help.
I don't do that, which is a mistake on my behalf. But here is the fight coming up, which I don't like. Because this fight can play out 3 different ways. Because you will come into a battlefield between humans and guardians. And if the guardians win, you will have to face off maybe against 3 or 4 guardians. The fight will be over in no time. As long as you kill a guardian, pick up his crossbow, everything will be very easy. And it can go out in a way where the enemy or where the humans win the fight. Then you will spend your entire fucking day in this room. First time I played this game, when I got to this fight, I thought the game was broken. It seemed like there was an infinite spawn, and I thought I missed something. I thought, am I supposed to push forward? Am I supposed to go into the next room? What's going on? Because enemies will come out of that door where the ultra heavy was. And it never seems to fucking end. And the third way it can play out is the way it played out for me. That a few of the guardians, I think one of the guardians survives. And that will make this fight take semi-long time. I have no idea if that was a correct word. But it will at least go faster than if only humans survive this. Because the Guardian, in my experience, doesn't attack you. He focuses on the soldier, so don't fire at him. Because he will kill enemies, Elena and Chloe will kill enemies, you will kill enemies, and hopefully you'll be out of here before the day is over. And as soon as you have taken out those guys that rushed me, if you hide behind this cover, you are completely safe. If someone throws a grenade up here, all you have to do is just roll out of cover further into this platform. The grenade will explode and they will not do anything. They cannot hit you with their firearms. They will not try to rush you up here. They will just go down into this middle area and start shooting at the wall. And you see the Guardian is still hanging in there, putting pressure on them. And what I suggest you do, because if you run out of ammo, you're gonna be in quite a tight spot. Because then you have to go down towards that door, try to pick up more ammo, and you'll run the risk of getting sideswiped by 300 soldiers at once. So if you end up in a situation where all the Guardians are dead, there are only humans left, sit behind this cover and wait for an enemy to start telegraphing that he's gonna throw a grenade. I have no idea how I survived that grenade blast, by the way. It landed right next to my twinkly toes and Nate just went completely Schwarzenegger on it. Nice. But what I was gonna say is that if you're in a position where there are only humans left, just sit up here, wait for one of them, try to throw a grenade, put a shot in him to make sure that he drops the grenade, and hope that it will kill as many enemies as possible. Because the first time I played this, I ran completely out of ammo. I think I will do a run for ammo in this video as well. But I had to run down those stairs to try to pick up some ammo, and everyone was firing at me during the time, and I got really close to death before I managed to get back up here and put my ass behind this wall. So be careful, always manage your bullets. Now I'm just keeping an eye out for Mr. Guardian guy. I can hear him growling and groaning, so I know he's still alive. Made one enemy drop his grenade, took out 2 of his friends. Awesome. And this is basically what you do. If the Guardian doesn't survive, yeah, be prepared to spend... To be realistic, I think this fight, if there are only humans, took me about 20 minutes. Maybe even 25 minutes. And I'm not even exaggerating. And I think that is really poor design of a fight. Yeah, now I'm going down for ammo. I was really nervous at this point. I didn't have to go down very far. I managed to pick up a grenade and a clip for my M4. And I head back up here again. Yeah, there we have the Guardian. Chloe, don't shoot at him. He's a good guy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. At least in this moment. But I think I'm starting to thin the herd of enemies. Think he may be the last guy? Just taking a peek around, trying to see if there are any guys still alive. And I realize, no. They are all dead. So now I can focus on the Guardian. And as soon as he dies, he will spawn in... Or 3 other Guardians will spawn in, I think. Here is a treasure trove of ammo. Pick up whichever weapon you like. I like to go for the assault rifle because it lets me keep my distance to the Guardians. And here he is. I'm just gonna spray him. Got really close to death. Be careful. He has quite an aggressive damage output. We pick up his crossbow. We have 4 bolts, which should be just enough to kill these last 2. No, there are 3 left, I think. 2 of them throw those resin balls, and the 3rd uses a crossbow as well. He is the one you're gonna have to worry about, because those 2 will not move from their position on top of those stairs. This guy, on the other hand, will run around this entire battlefield. So go over to this side where you started the fight and try to bait him with you. If you can kite him over to this side of the room, you will not have to worry about his little friends. They will just stand there, throw resin balls at pillars, and you can kill him when everything is peace, calm and nice. Couldn't think of the correct word for it. And now, since I was once again terrible at aiming, I only have 1 bolt left. I'm gonna try to hit with that one. Yes, I did. He gets really annoyed because I put a bolt in his chest, and now all you have to do is stay back. I push up a little bit. I try to use grenades, shorten this fight a little bit because I really don't like this room. I was so happy that it turned out the way it did, that one guardian survived, so he helped me against the enemies. Because this is one of those fights I was a bit nervous about when I was recording. Because no one wants to watch a fight that goes on for 20 minutes where someone is just sitting behind one piece of cover trying to make time pass and pick his shots against enemies. That's not very fun. It's not very entertaining, and it doesn't help anyone. After you've spent 5 minutes there, you know how it works. But anyway, if you want to, when you get to this point, or when you get to this fight, restart the checkpoint if you want to, because the fight does play out in different ways from time to time. I have seen people going in here where the Guardians have won the fight, and this fight is over in no time, because you come in here, there are only like 1 or 2 Guardians left. This fight takes 2 minutes and you're gone.
Stone's gotta be here somewhere.
But it has never happened to me.
Alright.
So I'm happy it played out the way it did, at least. And now there is only one fight left in this chapter, and this fight is fun, but it is hard. There is a checkpoint just before the fight, so you won't lose any progress, but it is quite challenging. You have some great tools at your disposal coming into this fight, but there are a lot of enemies and they don't want to play nice. As enemies never do. They are very aggressive guys. I think they should be a bit more calm and collective. Let's talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. But here's the fight coming up, and they immediately start shooting at you. I'm not in a good position since I brought a shotgun. And a shotgun is really good to have at close encounter fights. And since I want to keep as much distance between me and them as possible, I'm in a tight spot. It's good that there is a sniper rifle and I survive a shotgun blast. But bring an assault rifle to this fight. It will make things a lot easier, because the enemies, as you can see, they will try to push up, they will be very aggressive. You have the sniper rifle. If someone gets too close, you can put them down instantly with that. The shotgun can be good if they get close, but you see that heavy, he took 3 blasts from it. And I had already hit him with my sniper rifle. So bring an assault rifle. That is my best tip. And then pick up the sniper rifle, and we're gonna do some take shots whenever we can. Manage to take out one of these guys with a shotgun blast. Use your grenades, because after this big fight there is only one fight left in the game, and that is the last boss of this game. So feel free to use whatever resources you have, just spray. But I have picked up the sniper rifle once again, and I'm gonna try to do some good shooting for once. I've failed miserably with the crossbow, so it's time to redeem myself. And since these guys are using laser sights, once again, they take forever to line up. You see that guy? I was exposed for him for like 6 or 7 seconds. He didn't even make an attempt at firing. He was still swaying around his laser beam, playing Darth Vader from Star Wars. And here comes the second wave. Sometimes they spawn in when I've gotten further across the bridge. I got a bit lucky. So once again, I duck down behind this cover. They are quite aggressive, so I try to use my sniper rifle as good as I can, once again. It would be really awesome if you could kill 2 enemies with 1 bullet from the sniper rifle. You know, if the bullet was penetrating. Like, in some games it actually does that. If you shoot an enemy in the head, like for instance in... I think in Hitman. If you shot an enemy with a really powerful sniper rifle, the bullet could go straight through him and kill the other guy standing behind him. Also in... I think it was in Far Cry 4. There even was a trophy for killing 2 enemies with 1 sniper shot. And I really like that in games when the sniper rifle has that ability, because then it can be so effective, and it also, let's admit it, it looks cool when you manage to do a thing like that. When you fire one bullet, you kill 2 or 3 enemies, you feel like God. Or at least I do. I'm not afraid to admit it. I really enjoy those moments where I go into like beast mode and everything works and you have a perfect flow and you manage to take those nice shots. And now I think this is the last guy standing. He's doing everything he can to defend his position, but he doesn't stand a chance against my Uzi. So I run around here for a little bit. I try to pick up some ammo, which is completely unnecessary, I think, because there are no enemies left in this chapter. And going into the next chapter, you will get the weapon that the game thinks you should use.
Okay, here we go. Let's step through now.
But we're coming up to the end of this video, and there is, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.